What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite topic, how to study for and ace your next exam. So I'm going to be walking you through how I'm going to be studying for AP Government, which is my first AP exam next Monday, 5 days from now. I haven't begun studying yet, so this is literally going to be the whole process, the whole walkthrough of my system that has gotten me a 4.0 GPA throughout high school, graduate as my class's valedictorian, and become a national AP scholar. I've received 5s on 12 AP exams throughout the last 3 years, and I'll be taking 2 more this year. I know a lot of you guys have finals or APs coming up, so hopefully this video will help just show you guys what I'm doing, and maybe you can pick up on some of the tips along the way and see what works for you. This video is going to be split into 3 sections with 1 bonus section at the end. The first section is how you can mentally prepare for your next exam. The second is how you can actually make time for studying. Third is how to study effectively. And then finally, we have the bonus section, so make sure you stick around until the end. Alright, so first things first, let's mentally prepare for your exam. This part is probably 80% of the entire process to acing your next exam, but it's also the most underrated, which is, I think, the biggest reason for people underperforming on tests when they feel like they could have done a lot better. So if you want to ace your next exam, here are some actionable tips to take. First, you want to grab a lined piece of paper, title it with your exam name, ACE to do. I find that just by writing the word ACE on it, you set yourself a high standard and you're more likely to score high. So even if you don't actually get 100% on the test, you're more likely to get at least over a 90%, and that would be an A. So always overshoot and set yourself a high bar to begin with. On this piece of paper, you're going to make a list of everything you need to do to ace the exam. So to start making that list, you want to first do some test research. So check out how the exam is going to be like and what you need to expect. So for me, for the AP exam, I had to check the AP instructions. So they sent me 3 consecutive emails, and I read all 3 of those emails to figure out how the test was going to be like, what the time was, when it's scheduled to happen, what the rules are, and whether or not I needed to show up early. Once I found out those information, I put them down on my piece of paper under logistics, just so I know what I need to do on exam day. So just to give you guys a little update, I made this exam to do cheat sheet right here. And first I started off with logistics, so I want to mark in my calendar the dates of my exam. I actually figured that out by reading the emails, and I saw that you have to show up 30 minutes before the exam actually begins to sign in, so I kind of put the other date, like the other time here, so that I actually show up in time to go to my exam. And then I also saw that you have to get your ticket 48 hours before, and that there is an option for an exam demo. So that's a great opportunity that I'm going to take advantage of. So those are for the logistics of like how to actually take the test. Second, I need to figure out what I actually need to expect on a specific test. So this is the first test I have. It will be on Monday, which is about 5 days away. And so this is how I'm going to study. First, I'm going to figure out the exam question type. I'm pretty sure they're FRQs, but I'm not really sure if they are like evidence-based or just, I don't know, like I don't really know how it's going to look like, so I'm going to figure that out. Secondly, I'm going to find an exam cheat sheet, and this is because I know the exam is going to be open note, so it would be really helpful to actually get a document filled with like all the information I need, so that during the exam I can just Control F and find what I need. And then third, I need to see a grading rubric, because that's really important for scoring well, because that's literally defining what a good score is and what a bad score is. So I really need to master and understand that rubric so that I know how to get a good score. Fourthly, I need to see some example questions and actually work on those example questions by practicing with a timer. That's really important. And then self-grading myself so that I can kind of see what I did well on, what I didn't do well on, and then reiterate such that I know how to do well and actually do well on the real exam. And last but not least, this is so crucial to doing well in an exam, is time blocking for the time that you're actually going to study. So once you made that list, kind of put an estimate of like how much time you think each task is going to take. Usually I underestimate, so I know that about myself, and I think you will probably underestimate as well, and it's just safer to think that you're underestimating so that you're dedicating more time than you actually need to study. So I would recommend kind of going like 1.5x how much time you think you need, and just kind of schedule that time in with the rest of the days you have leading up to the exam. Put the times that you're going to study into your calendar and make sure you stick with it. I find that this just helps you kind of mentally prepare for like your schedule for the next few days. Like, you know, okay, like 2 days from now in the afternoon I'm going to be studying. I think it's also really helpful to know what time your exam is going to be and study the 2 days before right at that time if possible. So for example, if your test is going to be at 9 a.m., you want to be up at 9 a.m. and going 100% with your brain and studying that same test material. That kind of puts your brain in a mental switch into this test exam mode, or whatever the subject is mode, so that would actually help you perform better when the actual exam day comes. Finally, this is kind of just a random tip, I don't really know where to put it, but do not eat and do not listen to music when you study. This is contrary to what a lot of people do, but I just find that when you eat food or listen to music, you're basically taking energy away from your brain. If you think about it, your brain has to take mental energy to have your hand reach for the food, put it in your mouth, and have your like jaws chew the food and actually swallow. Like, it takes a lot of effort, and it distracts you from actually using your brain to remember the information and study effectively. So I find that eating is so distracting. Do not do it when you're studying. You want to be able to go 110% when you're studying to make the best use of your time. So unless you want to waste your time, do not eat. When your brain is deeply engaged, it does not need any external distractions to keep it entertained. Now let's talk about how you can make time for studying. I think a really important concept here is that studying comes in many forms. Studying is not just sitting at a desk, looking at a piece of paper, or writing things out. It can also be you in the car just thinking about the material. It can be you on a walk, kind of gliding through some flashcards. It can come in so many different forms, so take advantage of those small moments. Like, if you're literally sitting on the toilet, think about, okay, what's the most important concept for my AP government exam? And quiz yourself concepts like, what's the integral of natural log of x? Stuff like that. Like, there's so many things that you can do not at your desk to actually review the material and make your memory better and make yourself master the material better. But of course, the majority of your studying is still going to be done on a desk in a quiet spot, just grinding away with intense focus. That's so important. When you're studying, you want to make sure that you're going 110% in. That's how you're going to make the most out of your time. And finally, you made a calendar with the times that you were going to study. It's really important that you stick to that. If you go down on your commitment, that means you're going to be unprepared when exam day comes and you're going to end up regretting it. So if you're going to write something down on your calendar, make sure you follow it. If something does come up last minute, reschedule the same exact time for the study block. So be accountable to you. Make yourself like your own friend, because you know, when you tell your friend that you're gonna do this thing with them for like 3 hours, you're gonna do that, right? So don't back out from yourself. You have to respect yourself, respect your own time, and stick through on your time commitments. As for how to study for exams, I'm a huge fan of studying smart, not hard. Throughout high school, I didn't necessarily put in the most hours studying. In fact, I didn't even do homework some nights, but some days I did do a lot more, so it really depended on what I had coming up. But the studying smart idea is really important here, because only what's going to be tested on the exam matters, right? So if something's not going to be on the exam, don't waste your time on it. This is why we spent the first couple of steps trying to accumulate a huge list of everything you need to do to succeed on the exam. If something's not on that list, don't focus on it. So make sure that your list is as lean as possible. If there's any work on your list that feels unnecessary, cross it out. You don't need to do it. And then just start going through every single task on that list and checking off the boxes. Let's talk about the actual process of doing the work. So I find the Pomodoro method really helpful, where you take 25 minutes to work very intensely and then a 5-minute break. What's really important here is that during the 5-minute break, you really want to actively rest your mind. So do not go on Instagram, do not go on your phone, keep your phone on airplane mode or do not disturb, and just look outside, you know, stare at the window, stare at a teddy bear dog, and just kind of let your mind wander. You don't want to be using it even during that 5-minute break. That way you will go back to another 25-minute session with a fresh start. Alright, another thing is to really have a clean space. This means clean visually, so make sure there's no clutter on your desk. This also means clean Audio wise, make sure there's no noise coming from outside or it's like from your family. Try to find a quiet spot. That can be hard sometimes, but I find that the library is a great place to go. Obviously we can't go there now, but just finding a quiet spot anywhere is great. And the other thing is you definitely want to block out time for studying. So if you have a daily calendar, which I highly recommend, you should block out like 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for studying. And that doesn't mean you're going to study for 3 hours straight. Remember, you're going to do the Pomodoro method. We're going to take 5-minute breaks in between, but that time is for studying only. You're going to put your phone on airplane mode, no disturbances, and just focus on studying. Congratulations, you made it to the bonus section of the video. So this section is going to be how you can go about exam day such that you can maximize your score. So as we all know, sleep is really important. I'm going to tell you to get sleep, but I think a less basic tip is that you should review just mentally what the exam is going to cover right before you sleep. So when you're brushing your teeth, kind of be thinking about all the key points that you made throughout your cheat sheet. If you have to memorize those points, memorize them with the flashcard method. If you're going to have an open note exam, just make sure everything is in order. Kind of read through them as well to kind of mentally know the outline of your document. That way you can easily find the information. So as you sleep on all of that information, your memory will become better and you can better recall that information on the actual exam. Now the morning of, again, make sure you get good food. That's already basic, but I think you also really need to hydrate, and you kind of, almost like an athlete, need to hydrate right with the timing. And by that I mean you should drink a lot of water in the morning, right? But then you want to kind of stop your water intake like about an hour or two before the exam, especially if you can't leave your seat or the room during the exam, or if the exam is really time sensitive and you just don't have time to go to the bathroom. So really pay attention to your water intake so that you don't need to go to the bathroom during your exam. Finally, about like 20 minutes, 10 minutes before the exam, just kind of go outside, get your head clear, breathe deep breaths to get your nerves down if you have any. Eat an energy bar. I find that Cliff bars, the ones with caffeine, are really, really good for me. So I kind of just have one of those right before the exam and go to the bathroom and ace it. And you are just in luck because there's even another bonus tip that I have for you guys, which is to have exam day rituals. I find these so helpful. So for example, I always study with these big number 2 pencils. They're like glitter and stuff, and I just always use these when I study. And when I try to go into an exam, I study the day before with like a specific color. So let's say I pick orange, and I just use this pencil to do all my practice problems, all the practice exam problems, and then the day of the exam I use the exact same pencil. And I find that just that ritual really grounds me because it reminds me of all the work that I've put in. Just using the same pencil is like a mental trigger, like, hey, I've done this before, I can do it again. And just having that same color association, everything, it just really helps me for some reason. If that helps you, then that's great. Another thing I do is I never take showers the night before an exam. And this is kind of something from my mom. She just kind of told me that like when you take a shower the night before an exam, it's like you're washing away all of your knowledge from your brain. I know it's like super like superstitious, I guess, but I just kind of do it anyway. And I just find that it grounds me as well, because usually when I take a shower, I get really relaxed afterwards. However, the night before an exam, I want to be in like exam mode, and I want to be not relaxed, you know, like I want to relax after I finish that exam. So I usually don't take a shower the night before an exam. It's a really weird thing that I do. You don't have to try it if that just sounds super weird to you. You can let me know how weird I am in the comments, but yeah, that's just something I do. Yeah, and then other ritual suggestions are like you can always eat the same breakfast or go to the bathroom right before the test. So just stuff like that really gets you in the habit and the mindset that like, hey, I'm going into an exam and I can do this. Oh, another really important thing, always have mantras. So I have mantras and I say them to myself repeatedly. So if I'm going into an exam, I will be like, I got this, I got this. If you just repeatedly tell yourself things like, I can ace this test, it manifests. And yeah, so it manifests in real life. I hope these tips were helpful. I know you are going to crush your next exam. Comment down below if you have any video ideas. Give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more college related, high school success, and productivity videos. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.